Welcome to today's on-demand webinar on business transformation through outsourcing. My name's Nick Ogden. I'm the country manager here at BPO and coming to you from our office here in Clark. Now, just to quickly go through our agenda, what we'd like to talk about is outsourcing, and in particular, offshore outsourcing here in the Philippines. You know, what you can expect from starting off on this journey for the first time, how your business and organisation is going to benefit, not just from a cost-saving point of view, but from an efficiency and staff and client satisfaction point of view as well. We'll share with you our guidance on what roles we feel are suitable to outsource, and I guess equally as important to that, the ones that aren't. And we'll share an ideal candidate. So we have a candidate profile to share with you that give you some insight about the type of talent that's actually available here in the Philippines. So what is outsourcing, and why should you take up this journey of going offshore for the first time? Now, of course, the outsourcing industry here in the Philippines exists based on the cost savings that are available. Of course, these days, the talent pool is a worldwide talent pool, and there's really no end to the talent that is available to you and your business here in the Philippines, but at a fraction of the cost of employing your same staff locally. But of course, the cost saving is only one piece of what is a very, very big jigsaw puzzle. Now, of course, by outsourcing here in the Philippines and accessing the talent that's available, we're also trying to free up and I guess bring more job satisfaction to your local teams, increasing productivity and having people in your business focus on their strengths. Essentially what we do here at BPO is making sure that we have the right people in the right roles, doing the right stuff, but of course at the right price. Now, of course, that's equally as important in your business back home as well. Now, why the Philippines? Now, of course, it's well documented here in the Philippines that the outsourcing industry is almost the biggest earner for GDP here in the Philippines. So second only to offshore Filipino workers. English, of course, the English is the primary language here in the Philippines. English language skills are really the core of why this is such an attractive region. Now, if you're coming to us in Australia, the time zones are very clearly aligned as well. The Philippines is on the same time zone as Perth. So for the Eastern Seaboard, only a two-hour time difference. So for the Eastern Seaboard, most of our staff are working from 7 a.m. till 4 p.m. locally, which is a 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. workday back in the Eastern Seaboard in Australia. Unbelievable work ethic here in the Philippines. Spoke about the cost saving, which is, yeah, absolutely. There's a big cost saving coming offshore here to the Philippines. However, also a big productivity boost as well. Our staff are incredibly thankful for the roles that they take on here at BPO, and all I can say is I've been nothing but impressed with the work ethic across the board. I guess there's a couple of reasons for that too. It's the way that our work environment here and the way our staff are managed and monitored and held accountable to their timekeeping. But there's also a real pride in the work that they're doing for us here at BPO and also by extension, our clients. So really great way to be able to access talent and really high level talent too. We've really seen the industry progress over the years at a much lower cost. But that cost saving doesn't necessarily mean you lose out in any way. And in fact, quite the opposite, particularly from a productivity point of view. Now, the region that we're based in here in Clark essentially is a very large technology park and supported by government agencies here. Really strong infrastructure from an electricity and of course internet connectivity point of view. Now, the other big advantage in accessing talent here in the Philippines is the cultural alignment. So family, of course, is number one here in the Philippines, and that of course runs true back home as well. So really great alignment of values. Now, what can you expect? And once again, this really does come back to the right people in the right roles, doing the right things at the right price. Now, of course, accessing talent is going to save you a considerable amount of money on the bottom line. But what it really allows you to do is match the strengths and I guess shift the focus of your local teams to the parts of the role that they, I guess the reasons they took the role up in the first place. One of the exercises we'd ask you to do when you're going on this journey for the first time is to ask your key staff members about where are they spending their time. Ask them to split up a page down the middle, column A being the high value tasks, parts of the role they enjoy, that are bringing value to your business and helping you reach and achieve your goals. Then of course, column B is the opposite to that. What are the rinse and repeat tasks? Where are they spending most of their time? And I guess more importantly, what's holding them back from column A and the high value tasks? Now, of course, here at Beepo, what we're trying to do is remove some of those rinse and repeat tasks away from your local teams to be able to free them up, to be able to focus on the parts of the role that are really taking your business forward. There's of course a benefit here when it comes to staff happiness and satisfaction, and then essentially by extension, staff satisfaction of the satisfaction of your clients as well. All about business growth. Now guys, we're here to help at every step of the way. We've got a really strong team here in the Philippines to support you through your journey long term, but we also have a really strong team back in Australia as well on the ground to help you start through the planning phase. So right from the early consultancy piece and mapping out what your journey is going to look like, and all the way through your engagement here at Beepo, you'll be able to access expert advice on both sides of the water. Now, of course, when we talk about salary costs or the cost of hiring staff locally, the salary component, of course, is only one piece of the puzzle. And if we have to look at what staff actually cost us as a business, it's important to look at the big picture. So in this example, we've just used the annual salary of 50,000 as the kind of the median wage, and of course, I think there's lots of data to suggest that average wage is actually much higher. But for the sake of this example, we've used a 50,000 annual salary. When you take into account all the other costs listed on the right-hand side here of employing your staff, actually government data suggests it's 2.7 times the annual salary, the actual cost on your business. But of course, once we take all these things into account, you're looking at a salary that quickly shifts from 50,000 to $100,000 cost to your business. So what's the difference? Now, as a really general rule, the cost of employing a staff member here in the Philippines, so a full-time dedicated staff member, with skills and educational background in alignment with the role that you're employing back in AU or anywhere around the world, generally speaking, is about a third. So for an annual cost to your business of over $100,000, you can expect to hire that staff member for around a total cost of under $30,000 a year. Now, of course, data security and privacy is one of the biggest issues that we have to deal with here at Beepo. We deal with this in a range of different ways. Now, we're based in a very large facility in Clark with a capacity of about 700 staff. We're currently running at just under 500 people. So very secure facility, first of all. So multiple access points to the building with checkpoints at each level. So the first one being our front door with a keypad panel at the front door. We have security personnel 24/7, checking bags and logging staff in and out, etc. All of our staff have a dedicated locker, so they have to keep phones, personal items in their locker. They're not allowed to bring any of those items up onto the work floor. So biometric scanner. So on the next level of our building, on the main operations floor, we have a biometric scanner. So a fingerprint scanner to allow staff onto the main floor. As I mentioned, clean desk policy. So no phones, recording devices allowed on the floor, not even paper and pen. 24-hour CCTV footage across the floor. All of our USBs are disabled across the floor on each of the computers and workstations. Then we have multi-layered security setups from a technology point of view. So we have software protocols, our firewalls. We also use some products that we've developed ourselves, Beepo Secure, which is a single sign-on for your staff, which basically gives them access to all of the tools, all the cloud-based tools that they need to be operational in their roles, but it doesn't give access to the passwords that they need to access those tools. So consequently, not able to log on to any of your tools outside of the workstation, outside of our working hours, or at any other place other than locked down to the IP address here at Beepo. We also use a new tool, which is called Beepo Productivity Portal, which also allows us to monitor productivity and accountability of staff's timekeeping, but also any of the websites and apps that they're using throughout their shift. Now, guys, one thing we have seen change over the last 6 years, and we've been operating just over 6 years here in Clark, is the complexity of the roles that we're filling here in the Philippines. So I think if we think about outsourcing traditionally, it's always been about the kind of lower end tasks, our administration and customer care and those sort of traditional call center type roles. What we've seen is a real shift, and particularly in the last 3 or 4 years, towards much more complex roles in digital marketing, web development, app development, really complex software development roles, front-end developers, full-stack developers, .NET developers, and really no end to the talent that's available. And even in sales, we've seen a real transition from just customer service and customer support to businesses now having their entire sales function operating from here in the Philippines. Now, what does the outsource model look like? Now, it's really important to take into consideration the business function and which parts of that you should keep in-house and which are appropriate to outsource. Now, thinking about this at a broad level, really it's about strategy, you know, the strategic direction of the business, anything that's related to your marketplace and the things that give you a competitive edge, you know, the things that make your team so valuable in your local teams. That strategic piece really needs to remain on site. I mean, you're the experts in your space. You're the ones driving the business forward, and really unrealistic to think that you can replace that type of knowledge with stuff offshore. Now, the really way to think of it is in all of these different levels is that you're coming up with the strategy, coming up with the direction that you want to take your business, but then when it comes to the implementation, I guess, and doing, that those are the pieces that we can help you with here in the Philippines, and obviously at a much reduced cost. I think digital marketing is a really great way to sort of show this in more detail. You know, map out what your marketing strategy is going to look like, really plan out how you want to attack that in the different layers, whether it's in paid digital marketing or your social media strategy, and then brief in your team, get the right talent to support your marketing vision, get the right talent here in the Philippines to really drive that campaign forward. Now, guys, wanted to share with you an example of the talent that's available here in the Philippines. This is one of our best staff members. In fact, Josefa, or Joms, as we call her. Joms was our Employee of the Year last year in 2019. Really, he could not find a better example of the talents available than Joms. So Joms's client is actually New Zealand based, one of the largest ticketing agencies in New Zealand. Now, Joms has grown her career over a 6-year period with with her client and indeed with us here at Vipo. And I guess like any staff member, over time has seen her role progress to the point now where in the digital marketing space, Joms is really responsible for not only the implementation and the doing, but also they're ready to give advice back and forward to the CEO about what she thinks is going to work, how she thinks the market's going to react to certain campaigns, and absolutely integral part of that business, and couldn't be more proud to see her progress her career over the last 6 years. It's been an honour to see that. Now, guys, as I mentioned before, we have a full sales team back in Australia. So if there is any more information you'd like, please don't hesitate to reach out to Gary, our National Sales Manager, for any more information. Thanks again for your time.